What's up, everyone? We are back with another video today, and I know it has been so long since my last video. I think it was back in like January or something. It's been a very busy time period, have had so much going on, and haven't had any time to be able to do a video. But for those of you who are here, thank you for clicking on the video, and thank you. Hit that subscribe button down below. We will be back with some more content as we wrap it up with the summer and get into college football season, which is the main part of this channel. Like the video if you enjoy it, comment all your thoughts and opinions down below. So first of all, we're going to get started with Notre Dame, the team that most of you guys are a fan of. If you're watching this channel, if you've been around this channel for any period of time, the channel's been around now for about 7 years. So we are in that stage of the year. So first game on the road, you got Miami coming to town, facing off against the New Look Irish, coming off of a national championship berth against Ohio State. And that's a big deal. You have a Miami team that's bringing in a lot of new pieces. Specifically, when looking at it, you have a Miami team that is looking at Carson Beck as quarterback. It is entering into, I believe, year number 3 of Mario Cristobal as their head coach. And you have another couple of pieces coming in through the transfer portal and stuff like that. A couple of transfers at wide receiver as well. When looking at Beck is a pretty decent quarterback, but we have not seen him in live game action since that terrible, horrific arm injury against Texas. So I am a bit concerned about that. I am concerned about the Miami secondary bringing in all transfers, all talented transfers, but transfers nonetheless. So we'll see how the communication works in that back secondary. But in terms of Notre Dame, you're looking at a Notre Dame team. They bring back a fantastic offensive line, even though probably not going to have Charles Jagusaw. I don't know if there's been an update on his timeline with the broken arm with the ATV accident. And you should have a good offensive line. Otherwise, you had 2 great tackles and Emil Wagner. And then you had, I'm blanking on his name. You have Billy Schroth at left guard, or left tackle, or left guard. And then you have a good overall line. And then when looking at this game, you have Jeremiah Love at running back, Jadarian Price as well. I just think that this Notre Dame team has a little bit too much firepower. And then obviously the defense is going to be fantastic. So I think Notre Dame wins this one. It is a game at Miami. That's going to be tough. We saw what happened last time. There's a devastating result for the Irish. But I think that Marcus Freeman will get this team ready and prepared to be able to beat the Hurricanes in this game. Then you have a bye week and then a home game against Texas A&M. And Texas A&M, they're a great team. They're a team that you bring back Marcel Reed as your quarterback. I think they're in a good position overall. I think that they have a lot of pieces to be able to defensively. Obviously, Notre Dame had a lot of pieces that you were unsure about going into week 1 last year, going in a road game. And to be honest, I'm unsure about how they look here. I think that when facing Miami, I think you can kind of get away with just playing and leaning on that run game and not having to lead on, I haven't mentioned, but CJ Carr at bye week in between it to try to fix any errors that you had. But to be honest, I'm going to go with Texas A&M in this matchup. I like A&M just a little bit more in this matchup. I think that with Marcel Reed at quarterback, Le'Veon Moss at running back, a stout defense, I wonder what we'll see here. It's going to be tough sledding, no doubt about it, but we'll see. I got a loss for the Irish. Then you have Purdue at home. Purdue obviously is a tough team, or not tough team, is in a tough situation when it comes to how they finished out last season, had a really rough year. You bring in Barry Odom as the new head coach after firing Ryan Walters, who honestly just seems to be a defensive coordinator. Maybe he'll get another head coaching job at some point. But Barry Odom brought in a former defensive coordinator at head coach at UNLV. Did a fantastic job there. And honestly, I think that he may transition this Purdue team into a much tougher team. But honestly, right now, I just don't see it. I think that you get a win when it comes to the Irish. I don't think you have any issues. Then you head to road and you play Talon Green and the Arkansas Razorbacks. I think offensively, this team could cause some issues. It could be a little bit of a slugfest for a couple of quarters. But I think by the third quarter, Notre Dame starts asserting itself and playing like the team that they are. I think that Notre Dame wins this game going away. I think Arkansas is a bottom-tier SEC team, and I don't think anybody, even Arkansas fans, would truly disagree with me. Bobby Petrino is a good OC, but I just don't know where Sam Pittman's at, and 500 is best case scenario in my mind when you're looking at Arkansas. Then you have a home game against Boise State. And you got three home games in consecutive order here. Boise State, they do bring back some pieces, but let's be honest. You lost Ashton Genty. Obviously, you cannot replace that no matter who you have. Entirety, but at the end of the day, Maddox Matson at quarterback is great. I think he is a good quarterback, and I think Notre Dame's lack of pass rush could be an issue. We'll see what happens there. Irish there. Then we have a home game against NC State. I don't like NC State at all. I think they have a struggling situation at best. I know that they brought in some pieces. I know that you got some transfers in, but I just don't really believe in Doran right now. I don't think that they're in a good spot. I believe Bailey with the quarterback position is decent. It's better than it was last year, even though I don't know what happened. It obviously a sad situation with Armstrong. But you have all that going on. Then you have a home game against your rival in USC. Maybe the last one for quite some time. You never really know with all this situation and all this college realignment and stuff like that. But screw the Trojans. The Southern Cal is just – they're not a good team in my opinion. I don't think Lincoln Riley has been the greatest head coach for them. And to be honest, I'm starting to doubt Lincoln Riley as a coach generally. Obviously, he brought Oklahoma all those playoff berths. But when you're leaning on the back of Bob Stoops and what he built, I'm not saying that Lincoln Riley is a terrible coach. He was able to continue on, but I don't think when it comes to building something, it's really there. Then you have a bye week and at Boston College, one of the weaker teams in the ACC. I haven't done a record. I haven't gone through their schedule and given them a record yet, but we'll see. I got a loss for Boston College here. I think Notre Dame gets the win pretty easily. Then you have a home game against Navy. Navy, you just never know with the whole situation. You do have some good potential in Navy. I'm trying to remember their quarterback's name off the top of my head. But they Blake Horvath. That's what I was thinking of. It's combining his Navy team. I don't know if they really do compete with Notre Dame or give Notre Dame any issues. But it's whenever you don't think Navy is going to give you issues that they really do give you issues. So you always have to be aware of this game. But I do think Notre Dame gets another win here. Then you have a game at Pitt. I could see this as a bit of a trap game. You have Syracuse the week after at home, and I think Syracuse is going to be pretty decent this year. They definitely did lose a lot of pieces, but you have Steve Angeli there. When it comes to the Pitt side defensively, I think they're going to be sneaky. I think that they could be good defensively. Offensively, it kind of depends on the quarterback situation, of whether or not you're able to continue on progressing when it comes to Pitt at the quarterback's they could get a win there, or could get some wins in the trenches there, but I don't think that they get a win. Then you have the Syracuse game that I was just talking about. I think Notre Dame wins this one, but I think it could be a little more of a shootout. I think Notre Dame offensively with CJ Carr and the wide receivers that you have with Great House and Jordan Faison, and even a transfer like Malachi Field, that could be interesting in that game because I do think it is going to be a pretty high scoring one. Then finally, you have a road game against Stanford. You'll beat Stanford. You'll have no issues. I just don't see Stanford playing much competition. So really the big thing with this year is, do you lose one of these games that you're not supposed to? Do you lose a Navy or a Pitt or an at Stanford or an Arkansas game? Because you don't have a G5 opponent on here other than, I guess, Navy, who is a G5 opponent, but they're in every year. It's not as weird. But you do have that situation. I think Notre Dame does well. I think Notre Dame finishes 11-1. You could convince me they beat Texas A&M and lose somewhere else on the schedule. I could see that, but I think that they go 11-1. So I had to put a loss somewhere. So I do have them losing that game. So that's all. Hit the 2 videos down below and the subscribe button up here. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See ya.